What's going on, guys? Dakota with Flatline Detonation, and today I'm gonna do something a little different. Do a product review of true JDM goodness. So, if you've been watching the channel, you've known I've had issues with my old equal-length header, which was a CNT. So I decided to spend a little extra money. I sold my CNT and I got this HKS. First impression, it's definitely just like it's bent in a machine for sure. It's not like crazy good quality, but the fitment's really good. I've already taken it out of this box and kind of test fitted it up. Definitely good build construction, as you can see by their reinforcements they have built into here. You're not going to have any issues with it flexing and cracking, things like that. Welds are pretty good. It looks like it's probably done by a machine. I'm no certified welder, but I do know a little bit about welds, and the welds seem like they have pretty good penetration. So again, I don't think you're gonna have issues with cracking. I don't know how much the GoPro is gonna pick up here, but you can see definitely good heat penetration on the pipes. The flanges look good. They look flat, so it should be fine. It does come with some heat shielding, which goes on the other side here. I believe it goes something somewhere, somehow like that. I have no idea, to be honest. It could actually go over there. I'm not really sure, but I'll figure that out. It also comes with some heat tape. Definitely going to put that stuff on the oil pan. It comes with some gaskets, but they're not the greatest. I'll probably just get some multi-layer steel gaskets. Let's throw this underneath the car and I'll show you what it looks like underneath there. Okay, hopping underneath the car here, I'll show you some issues I was having with the CNT. I wish I could show you with the CNT, but I sold it so I could have some extra money to spend on this. It was really close in this area, and honestly that's not a huge issue with a GD, you know, the newer WRX and STI owners, because your radiator sits further out. You'll see in a second I still have that kind of same issue. The big issue I was having was actually on the oil filter. This is where that CNT actually sat. It would get so hot it would actually kind of bend this in, which is definitely not good for track use. But the HKS here, I'll do this one-handed. Alright, so swing this bad boy in here one-handed. Try to get as much of an angle as I can get for you guys. And that side is on. And so is that side. Yeah, that's one-handed. So, fitment is really good as far as not having to bend and stretch. And you can see plenty of clearance around the oil filter, which is good. Definitely something you don't want to have is heating up your oil more than it needs to be. STI oil pan, definitely enough clearance in there, but I'll put that heat shrink on the oil pan. Now for the problem area. And if you have a newer WRX or STI, this header will fit perfect on your car. But because the GC and RSs have shorter bays, as you can see, it's touching on one of the fan mounting points, and it's really close to that fan there. I found a couple different ways I can fix this. One of the ways was actually to lift the radiator up and space it. I didn't have any issues with it hitting the hood. I could actually lift this up. I figured my radiator is already pretty toast. It's melted, the fan is melted. I might as well just get a new radiator. Probably have to anyway. I don't know how much longer this radiator would hold up to any more track use. So I'm just going to get the newer WRX and STI radiator in here. It's on the way. I'll cut to that after once I get it. But it's the same core thickness, but I got the fan shroud with slim fans. So that'll kind of suck everything in. And since I'll have a fan shroud, I won't have any of this plastic stuff down here. The fans will sit up a little higher, and I'll be able to make some kind of heat shield underneath here. Also, I'm going to get some heat shielding for this oil. Actually, sorry, that's not an oil line. That is a coolant line here to keep the heat out of there, because if you have fluid flowing through here and you're only a 1/4 of an inch from your header, this is going to get very hot, and then your coolant system is going to have to work even harder to keep the car at that operating temperature. Another thing I was messing with, I got a couple different up pipes here. This is the one I was running on the car. It's an old APS. Nothing really wrong with it besides it's kind of heavy. The flex joint's getting a little worn out. I don't know how much longer before it's going to start to leak. I picked up this Invidia one and this stock STI one. I'm gonna run the Invidia just because of the inlet size compared to the HKS header. If we take a look, that opening on the header is about the same size. This is definitely bigger. I wish this was a little smaller. You'll see why in a second here. Lining up the up pipe gasket. Obviously I don't have it on the flange, but there is a little bit of a lip inside of there. I'll call it the fire ring on the gasket actually sits on the inside, which probably won't be an issue with stealing, but we'll find out. This was a used piece. I think I paid 60 bucks for this. And I bought the STI one for $10. This is what I would run even over an aftermarket unit. The factory did a really good job on all this shrouding. That's going to keep heat out of the system. The inlet and outlet are the same size. Not too far off on the header side. So we'll see. If I have issues with the Invidia one, I'll just run the stock STI one. So I gotta wait on parts showing up. The radiator's in the mail, the fan shroud's in the mail. I'm going to send this off to my friend. I'm going to have it ceramic coated, and that way it'll keep heat out. I won't have to wrap it because I'm not a huge fan of wrapping. It looks good, it's cool, but when you heat wrap something and you have oil drip on it, it's kind of a fire hazard. And then a big thing with heat wrap is it actually has a lot of moisture that builds up and will corrode the pipes underneath, and it won't last as long. So gonna try the heat shielding route. Definitely gonna data log on track. I was doing some data logs last season, and when we had a day that was like 80 degrees, I hit like 210, 220 degrees on really heavy track use. So I'm hoping a newer radiator will help with that, but only data logging will really tell. So I'll probably do that in future videos and let you guys know if I have any issues. But let's cut to this thing being ceramic coated. Dylan killed it at Flat Out Fab. Man, look at this. Hey, this thing looks brand new. You guys remember how dirty that thing was? God. This thing is going to keep out the heat. I had my buddy at Flat Out Fab, Dylan. He coated this bad boy up, and it is going to look awesome underneath there. I also got a new radiator in. This is out of a 2002 to 07 WRX or STI. It fits, but I'm still a little kind of bummed out how it fits. Let's go underneath and I'll show you. Okay, if we look up in here real close, you can see that tab and that tab. I had to cut off. Those are to mount your stock fans onto. Now if you look, it looks like it's touching, but it's not. Try to get up in there. There is some space. Hopefully, because this is aluminum. Obviously I'm not gonna have any melting issues like I was before. I just hope I don't get a lot of radiant heat against the radiator. and cause overheating issues. To fight against that, I got some of this aluminum Inferno shield. I'm gonna probably rivet this straight to the slim fans on the radiator. And I also got this one. This is meant to clip around the exhaust itself. This is a DEI. So hopefully with those two things, I won't have any issues with overheating. Again, I'm gonna data log, but hope you guys enjoyed that review. If you have a newer WRX RSTI and you want to go eco length, definitely get this one if you're on a budget. If not, go with the Killer B one. But if you're on a budget like I am and you don't have $1,200 to spend on a header, go with the HKS because it fits really good. Just not the greatest on an older Impreza that's swapped like mine. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Until next time, we'll see you.